Welcome to the Coaches Show. Head coach Eugene Rogers here with me. I'm Rusty Hitt, and we appreciate you joining us here after week one, Coach. Definitely not the start you wanted. I know not after what you had been able to show during the scrimmages, and so it was a little tough. You came out, but it was a good first half. It was a pretty tight battle, and really should have gone in 6-3 probably if you don't have the offside penalty there right on fourth down.
Right. Yeah. With the high expectations, great hopes that we had going into it. Big letdown. I'm ready for the real Corsicana Tigers to show up and perform. I felt like that we let the Corsicana community down, and I apologize for that. And moving forward, it hurt so bad that we're going to change that, and we don't want that hurt anymore. And we don't want to get used to losing. And I don't want the kids, I don't want the coaches, I don't want to get used to losing. And it's a bad taste in our mouth, and we're working to get that bad taste out of our mouth.
Well, they win the toss, they take the opening kickoff, and they put together a long drive, just, that 4 and 5 yards at a time. I think it was 17 plays. But, you had that bend, don't break mentality right there. You got a big sack from Alan Walker. That pushed them back. They weren't able to do anything. They had to kick a field goal. Then you come right back and you answer with a nice drive and field goal as well. So I know, like I said, it starts off, looks like it's going to be a really tight game. And for the most part, that's kind of the way that first half played out.
Yeah, I was surprised when he won the toss and he took the ball. So I figured that he wanted to start fast, which is understandable. And they kind of kept us off balance with their tempo and things like that.
Yeah, they probably didn't do tempo last year, from the best I can remember.
No, they did not. So they kept us off balance and kept us in a base defense most of the time. So they knew what kind of looks that they would get. And we held up. We did a great job of bend but don't break. And, part of our philosophy is 0 or 3, and we made them kick it. And they got 3 out of that. So we won in that regard. And, I was expecting for our offense to answer and score, but we matched it with the field goal. We need to score and get touchdowns in those situations. But that's what we're going to coach and get our guys to do in the future.
Well, offensively, unable to run the ball for the most part, which makes it harder on your team. It makes it harder to even throw the ball when they don't really have to sit back and worry about the run. So just talk a little bit about offensively. Thought there were some things there in the pass game. You had some good passes early, get some first downs. The things we've seen in the scrimmage is being able to hit the deep ball. And really we just weren't able to connect on the deep ball in this game.
Not to make excuses, I think the playing on the grass affected our guys mentally. It was high grass, and it kind of slowed us down, and you can see that.
It was built for their team, for sure.
You see that in our deep passes that we were off, and we just didn't do a great job up front of blocking their players, and once we were not able to run it, so they could get home with 3 guys, and then that would leave 8 to cover the pass, so it worked out well for them, being able to rush us and stop us with 3 guys and then 8 in the secondary to be able to shut down our passing game. So that was kudos to them, and they did a better job than we did last Friday. But we have to get better.
Well, I certainly know that's an emphasis for you, and you know you're going to be able to throw the ball. I mean, you got too many weapons. You got a lot of good receivers. You had the sophomore Braxton Stoner starting off quickly with a quick pass. He got a first down. C.J. Davis had some nice plays, getting those bubble screens and making some things happen. You got Mark Brown, Damon Brown, Petty, those guys out there. You're going to be able to make plays in that game eventually. But like you talked about, it really does start up front, right? All good, successful football teams are good up front.
Offensive and defensive linemen set the tone for their positions, and we did not step up offensive line wise, and that was the demise of us offensively. But we gone to work, and we're shoring it up, and we're going to get back to the positive and doing those things that's going to make us get in the end zone and score touchdowns.
Well, you go in at half, it's a 10-3 ball game. You're going to get the ball to start the second half. I know it. You got to be feeling pretty good about that. Your defense is held up fairly well. All it takes is a couple big plays, which you're capable of, and you get the ball to start the second half. So I know at halftime you had to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, we did. We thought that we were going to go out there and be explosive, but right now, early, we are a fragile team mentally. We need early success. And when we didn't get that early success, we kind of felt back into last year, so to speak. Don't want to talk about last year, but we have to be able to get over that mentality and move forward, going forward in this game.
Well, coming out of halftime, again, get the ball, and at that point you're looking for some positivity, move the ball a little bit, and unfortunately you go 3 and out. Basically, the next 3 possessions, next 2 possessions end up in fumble, move the ball a little bit in the end when they're playing a little soft. But I know offensively it's a disappointment after what you'd seen and the capability of that team. And I know that's not something you're going to accept, obviously.
Right.
But, again, it's a kind of a young team. They haven't experienced a lot of success on the varsity level. So those little things that go bad, tend to build up and go downhill, right?
Yeah, we can't let the last play affect the next one. We have to be able to move on. And, we worked on that in the off season. And, first time we got hit in the mouth, we kind of reverted back to that. So it takes a game to get that out of your system. And now our guys understand what we're talking about when those things occur. So now we will be able to move on. You get the most bang for your buck in the second game because you've had a chance to play a full game. So the biggest difference will be this second game that we're playing tonight. So expect great things tonight.
Well, it's hard for a team that is trying to figure out how to win, right? Whether it's playing 4 quarters, not allowing that adversity to change things. I know you spent a lot of time on that in the off season. So, and just reminding them that's why you did that, right?
Right.
I know that's one of the things your theme probably for the week.
Yeah. In the coaching world, it's called the 80-20 rule. Right now, when you rebuild a program, 80% of our efforts right now are geared towards trying to get a mentality that we're going to be successful, but we're dealing with things that's not pertain to winning right now. 80% of our efforts is corrections and making sure the kids show up and do this and do that. When we can get 80% of our efforts working on the skills and learning how to win, that's when we'll have a program, and that's when we're going to do a great job and start winning consistently.
Well, your defense did a pretty good job. They didn't give up a lot of big plays in the game. Again, they did have the slow bleed, so to speak, the 4 and 5 yards at a time, a lot of third down conversions. And again, that's learning how to win, learning to make those plays at the point of attack. Probably too many missed tackles for your taste as a defensive guy for sure. But you had, your linebackers were very active. Both the Bivens and Walker were all over the place, which is good.
Yes.
You want those guys making a lot of tackles. You just want them making probably at 2 yards instead of 5 yards. So.
Yes. Our linebackers did a great job of tackling. I think Walker had 17, and Bivens had, I think, 14 total tackles. But unfortunately, we also had missed tackles in there. There's a stat that people don't look at. If you have more than 10 missed tackles, you're probably going to lose that game. So if we go back to the first two scrimmages, the first scrimmage, we had one missed tackle.
Wow.
The second scrimmage, we had under 3 missed tackles, and we played well. And unfortunately, we had more than 10 missed tackles, so we lost that game. And we have to see what we hit, and we got to be at tackle on defense if we're going to win football games, and we have to play better.
Well, on the positive, I did think you had some pretty good pass breakups in the game that were some good coverage. Damon Brown he had 2 or 3 nice breakups down near the goal line. You started a sophomore on the other side, Jaqueline Walker. He came up. He didn't look shy to make tackles. He came up, made some good tackles. So, again, you've got some positives to work here, obviously. And I know you got something to show them on film from those scrimmages. Say, hey, this is what we did here.
Right.
And then this is what you did this week. What is different?
So great point. We did have a lot of positives defensively. But unfortunately, playing defensive football, you can be good 90% of the time, and then that other 10% can lead to touchdowns, can lead to field goals. We have to execute at above a 90% clip, so that we can keep them out of the end zone, and that's what we're trying to do. Work with, a perfection attitude of doing it right all the time, because on the defensive side, you can't one slip up can be 7 points.
Yep.
And that could be a ball game.
Well, I thought your special teams did really well. I mean, Giancarlo Zuniga had to come in last year as a sophomore, and he did really well, especially as a punter. I thought he punted the ball really well in the game and got some good distance, and then had a great field goal. So we'll start with that. We'll end on that positive, right?
Yeah, I'm pleased with our special teams. We got a hometown favorite because Gary Jesse's in charge of our special teams. He does a great job in practice and during the games with communication and things like that. So they did a great job performing, of getting the kicks off and the field goal when we had that opportunity. So I'm very proud of our special teams, and we're going to continue to build on that.
Was there anything else you'd like to highlight that you thought you came out of the game with a positive, whether it's a player or something that you saw in the game?
The fact that we started the 2 scrimmages on a high note, and we got a little overconfidence. So I'm going to use this as a learning tool that in high school football, you can't get overconfident. You have to play the game. Respect all, but fear none. It was 1 of 10. We didn't win. We didn't go to our expectations, but now we know that the stove is hot, and we got to go out there and we got to perform. We got to play Corsicana Tiger football.
Yeah,
down in and down out.
I think you're right. It's easy to get, again, a team still trying to figure this out. You beat Cleveland last year. You had 2 really good scrimmages. They were 0-10. We got them.
Right.
Without, as you say, you got to respect everyone. So.
Yes. You as a coach, you can preach something, teach something, but once the kids have something in their minds, it's hard to change that. And it's like we're going to use this to our advantage, because other programs think that we can't play, and then I know those coaches are over there telling them, hey, you got to respect the Tigers, you got to respect the Tigers. They're different. But those kids think that we're not very good. Yep. And then they're going to find out, it's third, fourth quarter, and we're up on them. And so we're going to use this to our advantage. I hope the kids are not watching this of our opponents, because they think that we're not.
They better be getting ready for the game,
yeah,
Coach.
they think that we're not very good.
Yeah.
But Come third, fourth quarter, it's going to be a different story.
Well,
And that coach is going to be telling their kids, "I told you so. I told you so."
well, this week is Waco. We got
Yep.
the old Waco Lions, and they lose game 1, 30-6 to Granbury. I watched a little bit of the game on Huddle, and their defense. They run a 3-man front, like you said. But those guys are pretty active. They're pretty athletic and good size, and linebackers look like they're pretty active as well. They did a good job against the run, but they gave up a lot of passing yards.
Yeah, they are huge. It's the biggest offensive line. I thought Tyler Legacy had a big line.
Yeah.
They have a humongous offensive line, but we were up for the challenge of in there scheming and doing things to put us in an advantage to be successful. Expect a little more pressure. I think we can put pressure on them, and I know that we can cover them and try to get them set back, second and long, third and long, so we can get off the yard and give our offense the football. We're going to go right at them. We're not going to let a 3-man line control our 5 up front. We're going to challenge our kids to get downhill and run the football, and then we're going to take the shots when it's the opportunity to take the shots.
Offensively, they didn't have a ton of success, but their quarterback looks like he's pretty active. They can run the ball, and looked like he had some drops that might have hurt them. If they had made some completions, that numbers would have been a lot better.
Wide open guys dropping footballs. they had the first game jitters as well. So, as a coach, I count those as catches because he was open, and we can't leave everybody open because guess what? They'll catch it on us.
So as far as attacking their defense, I know you talked to Coach Lewis. What does he see that they can exploit in that? I know you talked about running right at them, running downhill, and trying to get the ball out.
They play a 3-man surface. They give us a 4 technique, and then they will shade the nose tackle to the 5 technique. So we're going to take advantage of that. We're going to double the 4 technique. We'll double the shade nose, and then we'll isolate on the linebacker, and we'll get downhill. And they play off, so our little bubbles and screens should be able to work. We should be able to spit the ball out and get it in the hands of playmakers and let them get yards. And then if they start coming up, then we'll be able to get behind them and take our shots. But right now, they eliminated us from the deep ball, but we're going to take what we get. If they keep giving us the bubble, we're going to take the bubble. If they give us the screen, we're going to take the screen. If they stay in a 3-man surface, we're going to run right at them. We're going to run at the bubble, and that's between the A-gaps, and try to put it in the great athletes' hands and let them go to work.
Well, and it's your home opener. So talk about, what do you kids, is that, do you sense a little more excitement, when they come out and get to play at home, going on the road to Cleveland's, get an old stadium, very old stadium, probably bad locker rooms, grass fields. So, nothing's changed from the old days, right? So now they get to be home, they get to go out in front of their crowd and hopefully show them who they really are.
Yeah, we were talking off air. Will the real Corsicana Tigers please show up? So we plan on showing up, and we expect a great crowd tonight, and we want to really show this community and everybody that we have gone to work, and we are a playoff caliber football team. So we're excited, and we're playing it up, and kids will be ready to go tonight. They're going to play tonight.
Well, so if you win the toss, are you going to keep the ball or are you going to play defense?
We're going to take the ball.
Okay.
One of our objectives in the 4 points to success is start fast and avoid the letdown. So we're going to take the ball. And we plan on going down there and
taking advantage,
scoring.
Right?
Yes, and taking advantage of it.
Well, that's a great start. I mean, I know hopefully this week will be a great start. Again, whether you're playing defense or offense, you want your unit on the field to come out and be ready to go. And, week one tells you some things, tells you things to work on, but it also tells you, all right, I found some guys.
Right.
I found some guys that I can build on.
Right.
And so I know every week that's something you're looking for because this is a long-term project for you. It's not just today.
Right.
Obviously, you want to win today,
Yes.
but you want to build the program. And I know you're looking for guys that will be a part of that and want to build a program.
Yes, it's about building the culture and the program. I'm about building the program from ground up, and it starts with leadership, and it goes downhill from there. So eventually, they're going to take on my personality, and that's what we're going to get from these football players and this athletic program.
Well, it was also your first game with a new coaching staff. I mean, not all new coaching staff, but you had a lot in. So talk about the mechanics as a coach, getting everybody to do and looking at the things you want them to look at and where they're at and that kind of, they're on the field, in the press box, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely after doing this for 35, 36 years and having a dry run at it, we as a staff have a lot of work to do, and we're going to get it fixed, the things that we need to get fixed. And it's just going to get better from this point on.
Well, you got a lot of young guys still on that staff. So, again, you're coaching kids, coaching staff a little bit, helping grow them. And so talk about that as part of your job and how you have to balance that because you're the leader, so you're maybe not as much on a position, but you got to make sure that the kids are directionally doing what you want, but the staff is understanding how things need to be.
It all starts with our meeting time. So I have to be on point with my notes, and we have a saying, as a head coach, the bullets don't lie. The bullet points that I write down and talk about don't lie. And I'm an open, honest person that I feel, and we have hard conversations, and we talk about the bullet points, things that we need to get addressed, and I expect them to address those issues and get it coached on the field. It starts with the meeting, so we're gonna talk about it in the meeting times, and then we're gonna go out on the field. We're gonna have a pre-practice, and we're gonna talk about it, and then after pre-practice, all the talking is over. Now it's time to work on the skill development, and that's the process, and that's how we do those things. And I expect those coaches to take heed to the points and coach it up.
Now, as a dad, right? I believe your son's coaching on the junior high level.
Yes.
How fun is that?
That's so fulfilling for me to be able to have a son that finally decided to do what I'm doing. He's having fun. He's enjoying it, and every chance he gets, he'll come up and watch practice and get around it to be able to coach these kids and be visible. But it's fulfilling having a son on staff.
Well, and your daughter's teaching out here too, and all right, man. She was in Korea, South Korea.
She was in South Korea for 2.5 years, and now she's currently the assistant volleyball, and she's teaching senior English. In that regard, she's taken after her mother.
That's her specialty, right?
Yeah.
So, well, she was quite impressive when I met her. So it's exciting to have all your kids around, so you can and be able to watch them.
And shout out to the volleyball program. They're doing a great job. Won this past week. Freshman level, Chandler's team is above 500. Volleyball team's above 500. They're doing a great job. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, Coach Claire Johnson, alumni and former volleyball player herself. So it's great to see kids from here coming back here and contributing. So Coach, good luck tonight. Let's go out and let's get a W and have something we can celebrate.
Yes, sir.
All right, Coach Eugene
All right.
Rogers, head coach of the Corsicana Tigers. I'm Rusty Hitt. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for the pregame show coming up shortly.